Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming tonight. My name is David. I am a 3D pioneer, and tonight we will talk how we change how we do things. What if I told you that there's a technology that allows us to reduce drastically waste, that allows us to reduce transportation, and that will allow us to make things that will fit everyone's need? This is what additive manufacturing is bringing us today. Tonight, I would like you to demonstrate you this through the story of 3 people I have met during my 3D printing journey. I want you to meet our next 2D pioneer. I had the chance to meet Arthur last summer when I went to Australia. Arthur was an orthotic insole manufacturer based in Australia, and my first question when I arrived there was, what's an orthotic insole? An orthotic insole is a medical device that you place under your feet to protect you, release you from pain, or give you comfort when you're practicing sports. I did not know all the details behind this specialty, but apparently when we walk, we may have bad gestures that will become with the years knee pain. Moreover, you can imagine that I have a different shape and a different size than you do. I also have a different way of walking. So Arthur had to produce a specific insole for every one of his customers. So if personalization was so important, like in Christoph's story, why Arthur was not using this technology? Well, he was not using this technology because this technology was quite new, and we could not reach the productivity or the cost and the material properties he was looking for. Footwork had been using a much older and well-known technology, which is called CNC machining. They used to purchase high-quality polymer boards of around 21 kilograms that they would mill from one side, flip upside down, mill again from the other, and then they would obtain 18 insoles that they would manually trim, manually polish, and finally they would apply a cushioning layer to obtain these 18 insoles. But with this process, there was something else hidden. There was a lot of waste. If we take a closer look to the numbers, for every pair of insoles they were producing, which weighs around 77 grams, they were producing 2.1 kilograms of waste. This means that they were only using 3% of the material for his end customer, and they had to purchase, transport, and recycling 97% of the material that they didn't use. When you multiply this by the number of insoles they were producing, this means that they were generating a waste of 90 tons every year. And this equals to 50 cars or 2 family houses. So well, let's go back to the map I was showing you before. Arthur used to buy 93 tons of material coming from Germany that he would put in a truck, a boat, and another truck. Then he would use 3 tons for his end customer, and he had to deal with the recycling of 90 tons of material. When you study the ecological impact of any activity, business, or manufacturing process, the first thing that we have to do is to reduce as much as possible what we use. Why? Because our planet is finite. One day it will finish, and if we use it all now, next generations will not have anything else. And that's exactly what we can do. So what if I told you that there's a technology that allows us to reduce the transport impact of 126 times, and it allows us to reduce the material waste of 26 times? This is exactly what Arthur is doing today with additive manufacturing. Today, he has to purchase only 3.5 tons of material coming from the south of Asia, and he will use most of the material for his end customer. Obviously, there's a little bit of waste because we cannot recycle every particle of powder, but it has nothing to do with the image that we saw before. And how is he doing that? He's doing that by using 3D printing, which is a technology that was invented in 1981, so 100 years after the car invention, more or less. And it was invented by Chuck Hull. But during some years, this technology was not mature enough. We used to use it only for the prototyping phase. Today, I truly believe that we are at the tipping point of the history of this technology. And this technology is a technology that allows us to transform digital files into real objects. So the main advantage is that instead of transporting things today, we can be sending files online and we can produce it at the very end moment. We will also use only the material we need, because as you see here, we take parts out of a powder, and we can use all the powder that we haven't used for one build for the second one. And finally, we can produce objects that can be personalized and unique. So every object can be different. So I truly believe that we are at the tipping point now. And why? Because today we can not only check the personalization promise that we could do some years ago, but also the cost, the material properties, and the sustainability those industries were looking for. So no, we're no longer in front of an emerging technology. We have in our hands the possibility to make a positive impact we have not had since 1930. And that's exactly what Arthur is doing today with multi-jet fusion technology. He adopted that technology, and he was able to produce 2 times more insoles at a lower cost and with better designs. He could also switch to a 5 times smaller factory, and he could switch the repetitive tasks the employees were doing to tasks that bring more value to the company. And all of that, he's reducing completely the ecological impact, as I was showing you before. So the last person that I would like you to meet is a little kid that used to play with castles of sand. Who has not constructed castles of sand? The good thing about sand construction is that you can construct whatever your dream is. You just need to imagine it, and you have tons of material grains available, and you start adding them. And that's exactly how additive manufacturing works. So every one of us knows since very little, more or less, how to use this technology. So this kid started by doing castles of sand. Then he moved to Lego building, and he started constructing cars and cities. And one day, his dad came back home with a very special gift that will eventually shape his career. This little GR3 has all been printed in once, although it has 13 parts that move and interact together. Moreover, you cannot disassemble it or assemble it again. So this brought quite some established truth for this passionate Lego builder. And he started asking questions to his dad. And his dad told him, look, in the future, we will be sending parts in an instant to the other point of the planet. And we will be only using the material that we need. I guess that something got stuck in the deepest part of his brain, because a few years later, this guy would become an aircraft engineer, and he would be qualifying the first titanium parts that would go into a commercial aircraft. And this guy, it's me. But it could have been any one of us. And we need a lot of people like us to make this available.